Hey everybody, thanks for watching The Great Green Room. My name is Julia. Today we're going to be looking at Short Stories for Little Monsters, written and illustrated by Marie-Louise Gay. Short Stories for Little Monsters are a series of double-paged comic-style stories, a little bit offbeat, a little bit bizarre, almost the tiniest bit dark. Think Shel Silverstein meets Roald Dahl. That's about where we're at with this book. A lot of the books are either sort of like a look into the mind of a young child. If you've spent any time with young children, as if you're watching this channel, I assume you have, you probably already know that kids come to strange conclusions, they do strange things that don't really make sense to adults, but which make sense to their own interior logic. Marie-Louise Gay really does a good job of getting into the mindset of kids and looking at what they're thinking. A lot of these stories are either from the viewpoint of a young child or they're from the viewpoint of, for example, animals, of inanimate objects, but always sort of like what a child would imagine about these objects. Like this one, What Do Trees Talk About? There's just like all of these trees having a conversation. The woodpecker is giving the tree a headache. The birch tree is complaining about his skin. These two trees want to play tag but can't. Stuff like that. So that's the kind of thing, the kind of story you're going to find here. Some of the stories I feel are more funny than weird. Others are more weird than funny. Like, for example, I really liked this story here, The Secret Life of Snails. Snails show up a lot. I don't know, maybe they must be fun to draw. The author really likes them. But this snail goes over to his friend and knocks. Oh, who's there? Oh, come on in. And then, so the one snail actually leaves his shell. And then the next page is them like hanging out in the other snail's house, like chatting and having tea. I found that really funny and cute. There are other stories. This one, I identified with very strongly as an adult, where these two kids are horsing around in their rooms and their mom tells them to stop it and then convinces them that she can see through the ceiling to see what they're doing. I found that very accurate. Others of them, they weren't so great. They missed the mark for me. Like this one is about two boys who try to mind control a worm and then they can't, so then they leave and that's the whole story. I don't know. So some of them I liked more than others, but I found them all really, really quirky, like really offbeat. They're definitely the kind of thing that I would have liked as a kid. However, this is definitely the sort of book that you're either going to think is really funny and cute and you're really going to like it, or you're going to think it's the dumbest thing you ever saw in your whole life. One of the other extremes I think is probably going to be true. Personally, I would buy this book. Here's the thing. When I was looking at this book for the first time when I got it from the library, I initially thought that it was going to be more for kids who were a little bit older than I usually do reviews for. I was thinking maybe 5, 6, 7, 8, maybe even 9-year-olds would enjoy this book more. Not only because it's a little bit hard to read out loud with the comic book format, but because a lot of the stories you just need to have a little bit more life experience to understand the stories and the jokes. However, I was not expecting this, but my kids, who are 4 and 2, went crazy for this book. They love it. They don't understand some of the stories, but some of them they think are just really hilarious. There's this one, and I will show you. It also involves snails. Where is it? Excuse me while I find... There it is. So, snail nightmares, and then one of them is that he's going too fast and he can't stop, and the other one is he's going so fast that his shell pops off and he's just like sort of wandering around naked. And in this one, the birds have stretched his tail out really far. And my kids thought this was incredibly hilarious. But they loved the whole book, which surprised me. So I would personally buy this book. I've already put it on my Amazon wish list. So personally, I think it's a 5, but because it's so like out there and like a little bit weird and the kind of thing I don't think everybody would like, I'm actually just going to give this book a 4. I encourage you to go find it at your library, place a hold, read it, tell me what you think. I'm interested to hear what you think about it if you did. As always, I want to hear about your favorite books, things you've read lately that you like, that you didn't like. Don't forget to like and you should like and subscribe. You should subscribe. That's what you should do. You should subscribe. Thanks a lot for watching.